And we're live.
Oh, wow. Hello, everyone.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could have. It's not the most awkward thing.
I was thinking it, and then I saw it pop up on the Zoom, and I was like, did I type that? Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Morning Ritual. I am one of your hosts. You would think by this episode, I would figure out how to start the show, but I don't know. Hi, I'm Noir. And we have our other host here, Anita.
Hi,
What's up?
Anita. That's me. I am tired and undercaffeinated, so that's why I've got a Trenta.
And we have a very special guest with us, Kailey. Hey.
Hello.
So I completely had a sentence in my head and it went away.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
For the win.
I don't have. I thought I made my coffee. I went over to the Keurig. I put the cup down. I put the new cup in there, and I don't think I pressed start, so I don't have my coffee. I'll have it on the break.
The saddest thing I've ever heard.
If you want, you could just run and press the button right now.
Just go press the button.
I'm not good. This is what I deserve. I did this to myself, and now we're gonna live in this reality.
Don't punish yourself by undercaffeinating.
Yeah, no.
Not
push the button.
Not
push the button.
See, it's been a little bit of a clusterfuck of a morning because also my alarm clock at some point last night, I guess the power went out. You know when your clock comes back on and it's wrong.
Yeah.
That happened. So I think I woke up at around like 6. Which
Phoenix, thank you for those bits. Also, Noir, go get coffee. Everyone's telling you in chat to go get coffee. Chat is fighting you again.
Those chat's fighting to help me, I guess. This is weird.
It's, we love a wholesome bullying you into taking care of yourself chat. It's the best kind of chat. Getting that Twitter DM from Noir, though, at like an hour before I thought I was supposed to be ready. He's like, we're getting ready to go. And I'm like, what? Did I screw up the time difference again?
I got the message. I'm like,
it's been a really rough morning.
Yeah, you need the coffee. Get the coffee.
I need the coffee. You know what? I blame Critical Role because I don't know if you all stayed up till 4 in the morning watching the finale, but I did.
Yeah, I was
and
with you for that.
Time hasn't been right ever since.
No, it's very confusing. It's confusing for all of us.
Not having coffee is pure suffering. That is true. I'm glad. And speaking of coffee, thank you very much to Fel Familiar for sponsoring our show. We should probably mention that more often.
Probably.
We're not great at that. But we're here to talk about anything.
I do have something
and
to mention
everything.
off the top of the show, though.
Oh, what? What we got?
For those of you who haven't been around, we are teaming up with our friends at Chromatic Chimera, and right now, all bits and subs for the month of June are going to the Trans Law Center. So, Phoenix, thank you for donating those 500 bits to the Trans Law Center. And if you want to do a more direct donation, we have !donate in the chat, and there's a Tiltify link that you can donate to more directly.
Yay.
See, this is why you're the boss, because I spaced on that.
Yeah.
Completely. But seriously, go please donate. And I had the good fortune to be on Table Takes yesterday where we were able to announce that there is a itch.io of a queer gaming bundle that also sends donations to the very same foundation that Chromatic Chimera and Critical Misses is helping. So if you want some great games made by some really cool queer creators, I'll have that link in the chat very soon because it's Pride Month, y'all. So let's
Happy Pride.
Let's fucking celebrate and let's do my favorite thing, which is making homophobes, racists, bigots, and Nazis mad. So that if you should have a goal every day, and your goal is to make a Nazi mad.
I just do that by existing.
Same.
But also same. But yeah. So hashtag make Nazis mad and support queer creators, support BIPOC queer creators, show some love, and I'm gonna go grab my coffee and then we'll get to the show proper.
Go get coffee, baby.
Coffee time.
Woo!
Coffee. I'm just gonna drink it black.
That's how I drink my coffee.
Yeah. Makes me feel like an old man, but I love it. Make Nazis mad.
I'm just aging into my personality, so the more black coffee I drink.
Doesn't that feel great though? And like you're finally like in the right age to have the thoughts that you've always had.
Oh, I'm not there yet. Give me another 40 or 50 years, and I will finally it's my final form. A hag in a cabin in the woods, just
That's the dream.
oh god.
Like, okay, so I'll give you a perfect example of one of the thoughts that I have. Now, I have gotten pushback when I've mentioned this before, but I feel like this is an old man thought or an old person thought, which is I hate vehemently when people play music on their phone in public places
without headphones or anything.
Without headphones.
Those people embrace chaos.
There's a level of annoyance that you can feel as a general person, but the level that I go to, I feel is old man, which is just like
get off my lawn.
Like turn that hibbity shit down. I'm trying to enjoy my brunch with Gretchen. Like, there is a level of rudeness I feel that presents that I just blah. Which leads me into a question. We're gonna start with some questions first, Kailey, and then we'll get into your background and all that good stuff. But what is your tabletop pet peeve? What is a thing that somebody tends to do at a table that just makes you hear the Kill Bill music? That like just.
It's anytime somebody has a really fun or interesting or good idea, and whether it's a player or a GM, instead of embracing the creativity, they fall back on rules as written or something crunchy. And that's like one of those things. Like if I go into the game knowing that it's gonna be that way, that's fine. But when like the story could be so interesting and so good, and they're like, well, rules as written says.
Rule of cool trumps rules as written.
Yeah, and I know that's such a taste thing. On me, but
I mean,
at a certain point, I'm like, but it would be so much more fun. Then I get sad because you could have the cool thing, and instead you're like, no, but the rules say, okay. Well.
Especially when it's just like a rule that nobody follows,
right? Or it doesn't really. It doesn't matter. It would just you're just taking away something that would be fun or flavor.
Yeah.
That's like always like a bummer for me.
Anita, you got a pet peeve?
I had one, and then my ADHD lost it for a second. Give me 2 seconds. Tell me what your pet peeve is, and we'll get back to it.
I got one. I hate when other people dictate what another person does on their turn. Even if it's like a suggestion where it's just like, oh, or you could blah 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 blah. Like, yo, no, like let them do whatever they're.
Unless they are a new player and they ask for assistance.
Yeah, someone asks for help. That's one thing.
There's the difference.
Yeah, there's a difference between asking for help and then somebody just coaching. Because I feel like even like if they ask for it, that's one thing. But if they don't ask for it, I feel like you're diluting somebody else's character with your input. Yeah. Like, you know, it's okay to take a minute to think about what you're going to do next because you're thinking about all the options that your character is thinking about. But then if somebody goes like, or if you cast this spell, or if you do this or you do that, then it's just like, well, now the thought process has been tainted by somebody else's input, you know? I don't know. It just feels to me like if we take Lord of the Rings, for example, like, I don't want Gimli having any input in what Legolas is thinking about doing. Right? Because it's just like, I want to know what that character is doing. It's just, that's how I think about it. What do you got?
Lynn, thank you so much for resubscribing with Prime.
Hey, thanks, Lynn. By the way, Lynn, amazing artist. Thank you very much for the art on Kingsguard. That's just...
Yes. Lynn's just an incredible person all the way around. I love her so much.
I'm so lucky I get to play with I play with all the best people.
That way too.
My immediate pet peeve is a DM that will tell you, don't expect to survive this one shot.
Yes. I hate that. I hate it. I hate when a DM says don't expect to survive.
Don't get too attached.
Oof.
Yeah, that's my red flag right there.
That adversarial relationship between DM and players is scary for me.
Yeah, Nora and I were in a one shot, and that's what the DM told us, and I immediately said, "Fuck you," and made a character that was basically unkillable.
I think the reason that I hate it so much is it's just like you can't be a competitive DM. It's impossible. You control the world. What you say is law. So there is no competition.
Right.
So if I go like, I'm going to cast this spell and this spell to protect myself, as a DM, you could just say, well, you die. That makes you a shitty DM. But you're the DM, and if you say I die. There's no competition. So don't try to compete with your players. It doesn't work. You can't do that.
Mm-mm. Yeah. The words "don't get too attached" are generally set off the Kill Bill sirens for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was just our little icebreaker. That was just a warm up to get everybody's mouths flapping. Now we get into some questions about you specifically, Kailey. Which is, first off, you're from Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're in LA. Could you tell me what that transition is like as somebody who has tooled around with the idea of moving to LA? What's that transition like?
Well, I've been in the States for a while. We moved as a kid, and so I spent half the year in Canada and half the year in the US for a while. I was in South Carolina for a long time, which is interesting, and went to school in New York and then moved out to LA after college.
That is a life well traveled. As someone who was born, raised, and still lives in Chicago, can't relate. What would you say the biggest differences from the States and Canada are? Who has the better food is what I'm really asking.
Who's the better food? Oh, it depends on where in Canada you are. And it also depends on what you're looking for. Like,
okay.
You
don't go to Calgary looking for poutine. You won't find a good poutine here.
Right. But like I was born in Ottawa and my mom is Quebecois, so you get poutine in Quebec. You go across the bridge in Ottawa, you go to Hull, you go to
Gatineau, go to Gatineau and get the good
poutine. Gatineau. I grew up on the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
On an island, and so Gatineau was always the place that we would go to get groceries and milk and stuff.
Or when you turned 18, you'd go across to get
beer. Because you can only drink in you just have to cross the bridge and you're fine. It's legal.
So just at the end of the night, there's a bunch of shit-faced youngins.
It's the one thing that I relate to.
You take the bus across the bridge. Yeah, absolutely.
It's the one thing I relate to as a person who grew up in southeastern British Columbia is we'd cross the border to Alberta to get beer because it's 18 in Alberta and 19 in BC.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I'm ever in a healthcare problem where I think it's going to be expensive, I need surgery or something, I'm going back home.
So are you a dual citizen? Like, if you don't mind my asking.
Yeah, I got my citizenship 3 years ago. Took a long time.
Oh, well, welcome to America. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, no, I started my citizenship journey in 2016 because I was like, I want the option to leave the country, but I would not like to get kicked out. Now I'm worried I'm gonna get kicked out, so I'm good.
That makes sense.
True. I feel like that should be the first thing you hear when you get your American citizenship is "Welcome to America."
Sorry.
No, that's what happens when you get your Canadian citizenship.
Yeah, as I say, oh, sorry about that.
Like, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yo,
I'm being blinded.
No, you're good. You're good. Canada does not want anybody coming into the motherfucking country right now. I just took a look because we have to plan because things have gotten bad. So like I was just like, what would it take to become a Canadian citizen?
It takes a while.
lot.
It's like 10 years to get a Canadian citizenship to just become a naturalized citizen.
And then there's like 6 months after that. You get to hop in their healthcare system 6 months after you become an official citizen.
You can still have, if you have a worker, like a sort of the equivalent of a working visa here, you can still have access to healthcare here.
Like, I did some reading on the Canadian healthcare system, and it just made me mad. It just made me, like, the whole time I was reading it, I was just like, are you fucking shitting me in the face right now?
It definitely has its flaws, but
yeah, like, one thing that I know is when my mom passed away last year, we did not have to deal with the bills for her cancer.
That's, which is unthinkable in the U.S.
Yeah. It's not great. But aside from the politics, my whole deal is Chicago because Chicago's all I know. So when I think of home, I think of Chicago. When you think of home, like, where do you think? Like, what do you see in your mind?
LA. I like this specific house, this place. Like, it's home for me.
And so how did you be, like, because you've been all over, and for folks that don't know, you've studied at Juilliard. Like, you've been all over, and then you land in LA. Like, how hard was it to make that home? Like, how hard was it to find what you want to do, build your connections, and, just starting from zero?
I mean, it took time. And someone told me fairly early on when I moved to LA that, like, give it, and I think that that's true for anything. It's like, give it like 5 years. If you have 5 years, give it 5 years to really establish yourself and understand what it takes to be happy there. And it, like, on my 5th year in LA was when things really started to feel like solid, and I was like making really great career advancements, and things were starting to feel good. But I found I'm really lucky that I'm a part of, like, the stage combat community, the voiceover community, and the nerd, and then I found my nerd community through that. And so having those little places to, like, plug in and make friends and just, like, establish myself, it really, really helped. Because New York was tough. Juilliard was a conservatory program in New York City when I was too young to go. So it was like, I didn't really get to establish roots anywhere until I was in LA. So that's been nice.
All right, that's dope. Now I want to talk about some of the projects that you're involved in. One of the biggest ones, Damsels, Dice, and Everything Nice, the Princess Roleplay game, which is just insanely sick. How did that come to be? And also, perfect casting as Belle. You just dead ringer for Belle.
For real.
Yeah. Well, it was like I was in the middle, or I think that was my 4th. So I was like feeling a little stagnant in my career, and I just realized that my whole friend group was either professional princesses or professional D&D players or role players. And I was like, oh, no.
So when you say professional princesses, bring me into that.
They either worked for the Mouse, or they had their own party companies, or were cosplayers. And I was like, I have to do this before somebody else does. I have to. I didn't really think of myself as a writer. I didn't think of myself as a producer. I'd never DM'd 5th edition. I was like, but I was like, oh wait, but if somebody else does this before I do, I will be so angry. And so, driven by spite, like everything else I do, I just
yes.
I posted on Facebook, and I got like 50. I was like, oh, if I did like a D&D princess thing, like who'd be interested in joining me on that? And I got like 50 responses, and every single person who responded ended up being involved in some way.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because you have all the princesses, like all of like you got Princess Leia, which is still a favorite. So like, just if you haven't checked out Damsel's Dice and Everything Nice, you really need to, and it's still going. Like
we have 2 scripted episodes on YouTube, and a theme song that we got to write and record, sharing a wall with one of the most talented composers, who specifically is like a Disney style composer. It was real helpful during the beginning of Damsel's, gotta say it. And then we, in 2020, we went live and started playing through the storyline that is alluded to in the scripted series. And we started our own Twitch channel, and then we merged with Pixel Circus, and now we're live on Pixel Circus every Saturday, currently on hiatus while I write the 2nd season, which I have not started yet. But so usually we are live at 6 p.m. Pacific every Saturday. We got lots of content to catch up on. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out and let me know what you think, because we're having a ball. We've had some great guests, and I've been so lucky to collaborate with some really incredible people with Damsels.
It's full cosplay too.
It is.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
The last episode that I caught, there was somebody that was playing that wasn't a princess, but one of the demons from Hercules.
Panic?
Yeah. And was goading them to make decisions that I feel were a little drastic. So definitely watch it, because you have a bunch of princesses, but was that the first non-princess character?
No, we've expanded since then when we went live, because I wanted to just kind of open it up to anything. I mean, we've had Scar and Kovu. Gabe and Omega came on as Scar and Kovu and changed my life. They were so good. We had Judy Hopps from Zootopia. Serena.
Oh, Serena, yeah.
Steve Zaragoza played Bing Bong.
Yes.
Oh my God. I think about that game so often, because that human's creativity is just blows my mind. And he's one of my favorite kinds of players, because he's still a really new player, and so he's not restricted by like his preconceived ideas of what Dungeons and Dragons should be. So if he's got a bag, and Bing Bong always has a bag of stuff, and he can throw it, he's like, I'm just gonna pull a literal kitchen sink out of my bag and throw it at the enemy. I'm like, okay, yes. He's like, oh, I'm so convinced I can't do it. I shouldn't really be doing it. I can't do this. I'm like, no, tell me what you want to do. Tell me what you want to do. Pull a kitchen sink out and throw it at an enemy?
Absolutely, okay. You can.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a second. I'm just going to figure out what the stats of a kitchen sink are. Yeah, absolutely.
2d6, 3d6.
The things we have to think about as GMs. But that also brings me to another question that I have, which is, you have worked with everybody. It seems like you've worked with a few people that I have grown up just being huge fans of, especially I want to talk about the SourceFed crowd. SourceFed was a massive YouTube channel that unfortunately got caught up in like one of the mega companies screwing them over. And there are just a bunch of talented people. You still have some of the members being in the Valley Folks. Steve, like you mentioned, Steve Saragoza, Lee Newton, Whitney Moore, just a bunch of these fantastic and amazing people. How? I guess it's a matter of being in LA, but how are you building these connections with just these insanely talented people? It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. It's kind of just being in LA and it's a small world out here, and like we all go to the same board game bar and we all see each other at the same conventions, and we like I think I met Steve at a Halloween party. Like and a lot of us go back to like the Geek and Sundry days.
Yeah.
So that's how I met a lot of people was through Geek and Sundry.
Oh, were you involved with Geek and Sundry?
Very briefly. And not like I there was a period of time where they did Gather Your Party every Friday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there for a couple of those, and I was on a show for Alpha on like we had like a 1 or 2 episode like sketch something on Alpha.
Rip Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of friends working behind the scenes, a lot of friends who were hosts, and just it was one of the places that I was like helping out with shows, and you know, very very little tiny thing. But I met a lot of wonderful people there, and it was a very important time in my life.
Thank you for that raid, Poopy Pants. Welcome in.
Thank you, Poopy. I have to ask. You say that it was a very important time in your life. Was that part of the 5th year?
I think it was going into the 5th year. How long have I been in Los Angeles? I think it was 20, because I started writing Damsels in 2017, and then it started being a thing in 2018, but didn't go viral, I don't think, until it went viral in 2019? 2018. It's 2021 now. I think it went viral in 2019. And I moved to LA in 2014.
Wow.
So it was exactly the 5th year.
Yeah.
That like
that's absolutely wild. But one of the things that this kind of shows, which is one of the things that I love kind of exposing when we talk to really just talented and well-known guests, is that you were grinding long before any of this hit. Like, and that kind of brings me to my next question, which was there ever a time where you just felt like nothing's connecting?
Yeah, it was really, really like, it was like very, very top of mind. December of 2018, because I like went to South Carolina to like visit my mother for the holidays, and everyone's like, "Oh, how's LA going?" And like I hadn't booked anything in a while, and because I came out doing the act like on camera actor thing, and I'm like still doing a little bit, but like 2020 not so much,
I can't imagine why.
But yeah, I was so bummed about the way that Damsels was just kind of stalled, because we'd released the teaser and we'd like been crowdfunding a little bit, but like nothing was really hitting. I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I was like, so the crowdfunding's over. We made like 2% of our goal, and not very many views on the teaser. So in the new year, I just decided, well, we made the pilot, let's release it. Release the pilot, and then less than a week later, everything changed.
That those are my favorite kind of stories. I have to be honest with that, because that's such a common feeling, and I feel like it takes a different gear. It takes a certain strength of character to go. It's not hitting, but I'm going to go through with it anyway, because I feel like that's where a lot of art dies, where it didn't hit, it didn't immediately go viral. Screw it, I'm not going to do it. I've seen that happen more times than not. So I just love when somebody who is on the other side of it can tell the story of it just kind of shit in the bed when it first comes out, and then still going through, and then it just takes over.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people get into this thinking that they're going to be instantly successful, like they're going to be that next big hit. And I think if you go in with that mindset, not realizing that it is a grind and that it is going to be a long road to get to where you need to be, that
I mean,
it can dissuade a lot of people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's just knowing, and that was always the thing that was what I held on to during like that process of Damsel, especially the first episode, is we shot on a professional set with a professional crew with a red camera, you know, like the favors I called in, my friend.
The red cameras start at $5,000.
Just the luck that I fell into, and the wonderful community that I had built. I knew that we had a top-notch product that I could be proud of, and even if a bunch of people didn't see it or what, like, I had this product that I could be so confident in. And whether it was like a big like rocket launch of my YouTube career or whatever, like, didn't matter. I knew exactly the product I was putting out, and I knew it was good, and having the confidence behind that, even if it's not like an overnight success, it helps to just invest in the quality of something, and knowing that at the end of the day, even if it's not incredibly popular, it's good.
It's still a product that you can be proud of.
Yeah.
I love that, because you can kind of like track your thinking from beginning to end, which is you saw an absence of something that should be, which looking at it now, it's just like, how was this not a thing?
I know, right?
looking back at it now, it's just like, well, this totally should have, like, honestly, Disney should have hopped on this. Like, that's we're not gonna mention the mouse before they.
Yeah,
they're gonna come for any
why, and it's because everyone is afraid.
But
I'm still afraid.
I mean, no, there's no mention of franchises here, but it's just like, this
fairy tales, baby.
It's fairy tales, baby. That's open to everybody. But it's such a fucking brilliant idea that you knew that, and you acted on it, first, and you put value into it, and it even when it looked like there was no traction, you made it happen. That's just so dang cool. Like, so I have to ask you now, you are involved in a lot more projects now. I have to, when you looked you up, when I did my research on you, like, you most often come up with damsels, dice, and everything nice.
The SEO is working.
But my next question is, like, obviously, to me, with as much as you're attached to damsels and dice, this to me would be like your signature project. Mm-hmm. My next question would be, what did you feel is the next big project that you're involved in, or the next big project that you want to start? Like, where's the next big Kailey move?
NDAs notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we can't have you mention anything that you legally can't mention, but you know.
Yeah.
If you can't mention it, do you have something on the way? I guess that would be how you could answer it if there is an NDA.
I think next week there is an event I'm very excited about that I think they're going to start making announcements about. I'm excited about that. And honestly, it's Pixel Circus. I'm the executive producer of Tabletop over at Pixel Circus, and getting to really build a network and have like interesting, diverse, original nerd content that I get to make with my friends that I'm proud of, there's nothing like it. And so just Pixel Circus has had some tremendous growth. We're almost at our year anniversary, and so we're making some really, really wonderful stuff, and that's kind of like where a lot of my focus is right now, is just building out the network and making everything as just high quality as we can. I work for Hyper RPG, and we make some really, really fun tabletop and like very interactive and just like pushing the boundaries of what's technically possible in live content. So there's some interesting stuff there that I think we're gonna start announcing soon.
I have to tell you, like when I looked up Pixel Circus and Hyper RPG, Geek and Sundry had just such a presence in this space, and ever since they kind of went quiet, that space hasn't really been filled. You know, I feel like the closest I've seen to it being filled is Pixel Circus and Hyper RPG. Not just because there's a lot of the same talent that's involved in it, but it's just you ever see a project that you could tell that people behind it are enthusiastic about it? Like that's the kind of feel that I'm getting from them. I know like Hyper RPG just had streams of them building their studio up, and they were actually fun to watch because you got to see these people who are putting together something that they believe in.
And so there wasn't a major injury this time. Heck yeah.
I feel like there's a story there.
Oh, there's always. Well, Zach just really likes to hurt himself.
Hey, no kink shaming here.
The last studio build that we had, bless his heart, he had to go to the emergency room. He like almost lost a finger.
Oh my god.
Oh. I hope you guys were streaming at the time.
No, we streamed. It was live. It's always live. He doesn't hurt himself off camera for some reason. No, he doesn't. But yeah, they
scared my cat.
It's he gives everything. He and Malika give everything to Hyper, and it is inspiring.
So I also have to ask: is Hyper going to be? I see the studio being built, so I'm guessing that's going to be like an all live channel, or are there going to be are there going to be like, you know, online stream games, very much like Pixel Circus,
remote players?
Yeah.
Zach is not the biggest, like, I think most things are going to be like live in person. They're still waiting to announce a couple of projects, and they're
right. And don't want to put you on the hot seat. Just
no. I'm thinking about like what the, like, you know, what different plans are. It's been a really, really busy year. Like last year we did travels with Hyper. It was like that cross country live interactive travel show in their RV that they had tricked out to be a live streaming studio. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the main producers on that. And
that sounds baller. I didn't see that. I gotta check that out.
I have never learned so much on a project, and it was so good. And I was live producing a travel show across the country in the middle of a pandemic.
Wow.
And the things that we were able to do, like I was able to set up a meeting with the chief of Cherokee Nation in like 48 hours as like okay, you're in Tulsa, you need to drive to Cherokee territory and have this interview. It's at 10 like go. And I just
and were you doing that remotely from LA?
I was doing it from LA. Yeah.
What? So my next question is, how do you find yourself involved in that stuff? Is there like an audition process, or is it knowing somebody that knows somebody? Because that sounds like some high caliber shit right there. That's awesome.
It was, well, that happened because I was I started as talent for a show that Satine Phoenix was producing, and then I helped her. She needed like some like PA work, some like assistant work, and so I started working for her there, and then doing some producing for the new channel she set up, and then that's how I met Malika and Zach, and then when I left Satine, she didn't need a PA anymore, and moved over to Hyper, just like freelancing a little bit, and then this show came up and we all just dived in, and it was really, really fun. So it's just, yeah, it's like anything. It's like I started as an assistant here, and then I was an assistant, you know, someone else was like, are you still working for this? Because I could use an assistant, and then I started producing, and yeah.
I mean, but that's awesome. It's like you find yourself where you're meant to be by being willing to go other places, which is fucking sick. I love it. I love it so much. If you were to give advice to up and coming TTRPGers who want to get into like the higher tier production type stuff, or just in general for, you know, LA, what do people from LA call themselves? LAites or whatever?
Los Angelians.
Aliens? I'm calling them aliens.
Close enough.
But if you were to give advice to up and comers, what would that advice be?
What really helped me, and the battling the imposter syndrome and just the concern that I don't have the skills to do the things that people are asking me to do, is I experiment on myself first. So I became an executive producer for Damsels, and now I am I'm a much more confident producer now, because the stakes were high, but because the person that I would be letting down was me, I was more comfortable trying things and making mistakes than I would be if I was like put in a situation where like, oh wow, I'm like working for this high profile production company, and now I'm like, that's a lot of pressure, and I don't feel confident enough to even put myself out there to say that I can do these things. Starting with your own content and learning on the job for yourself really, really helped me then gain the confidence to say, oh no, I can do that. Someone asked me if I can do that.
That's awesome. That is so.
I relate to that on every single level, because that's
right?
literally what I did here.
Everything that I put together, I'm just like, oh my god, this is hard. How am I fucking gonna do this ever? But then you figure it out.
Yeah. And then you already know, so when someone, you know, offers you a job or a gig or asks for help, you can be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just.
Now, obviously, for this next question, I don't expect any names or anything that can even allude to who we're talking about, or if there is someone that we're talking about. But has there been a job that you've been in where you were just like, oh, this immediately is awful?
Yes.
And how do you deal with that? Like, because we've talked about a lot of successes and a lot of joyful experiences, but like, how do you deal with finding yourself in a production or a show or just anything in general where you're just like, I need to get out of this as soon as possible?
Yeah, my biggest approach, and it's something that I'm still learning, is okay, if this is awful, is there anything that I need from this so that I can prioritize taking what I need from it? What are the skills I need, the contacts I need, the whatever.
Right.
What do I need to learn? What do I need to gain? Is it just because, like, you know, even if it's just a paycheck, there's a lot of jobs that I have done just for subsistence. Not as much nerd related, but like, you know, like it's, and focusing on that and and then treating it like the grind, the slog, and making sure that I'm taken care of and as healthy as possible. And then once you have the things you need,
you dip.
But yeah, find a way to just gracefully.
My question to you is, what makes for a terrible job? Is it difficult people, unclear instructions, hard work, or just not hard work, but you understand what I mean?
Mismanagement.
I would say mismanagement.
I would say the most taxing jobs that I've had, which honestly not so much in the nerd space, because I think a lot of us have to be good at managing and just delegating things. We already have to kind of have those skills because so many of us come up and work on our own stuff.
Yeah.
It's the mismanagement. It's just the absolute inability to be organized enough to ask for help. And that's and then once people, and I don't think I've really ever had this in the nerd space. So this is me talking about other day jobs and customer service jobs I've had in LA, but it's just the absolute inability to tell people what you need to make something work, but then expect them to make it work anyway.
Yeah.
I
hate that.
Not a problem I really had in the nerd space. I've been very lucky there. But
yeah.
Okay.
Setting people up. It's almost it is almost like setting people up for failure when you're not giving them the proper tools to do their job and then expecting them to do the job anyways. Very annoying.
It's just I'm going to need you to stand here at 3 p.m. not knowing that standing here is in front of a firing squad. It's just would have loved to have known that beforehand. Yeah. My next question is: you said you came to LA to do a lot of the on-camera acting. Have there been any gigs that you're particularly proud of, and what's that like? Just in general.
Yeah, I had a really fun time on a Walmart commercial. My one big guest co-star, I guess, role. I was on Sneaky Pete as a receptionist.
That's got to be cool as shit. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, working on an Amazon project. Oh, it was so much fun. It was so cool. But I've done things I've done music videos, and I do a lot of stage combat, so getting to work on theatrical stuff with fights. It's I've got to do a bunch of really cool stuff. I'm in a Star Wars video game. I'm in a Redwall video game. That's voiceover is my one true.
That's your jam?
Yeah.
Oh, can you tell me what Star Wars game you're in so I can play it and see if I can find you?
It's the augmented reality one that Lenovo came out with, Jedi Challenges. I'm the 7th.
Okay.
Nice.
So when you say that you're involved in stage combat, do you do choreography for that, or are you just so you could choreograph a badass lightsaber fight is what I'm hearing? Because
lightsabers, I still have to kind of learn because Star Wars is one of my things that I enjoy, but I'm not as familiar with the lore, so I'd have to really study the history behind lightsaber fighting. But then I probably could. I have a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
So I do. I've choreographed a lot of pirate swashbuckly fights, stuff like that.
I'm speaking as a fanboy now, so just don't mind me for the next 5 minutes. But I would give everything in my body to see you and Christina Ariel have a fucking lightsaber battle. I want that. I want that to happen. I don't care what project it's. I'll text her. Hey, Christina. Hey,
Christina. I'll see you in. I'll pick a park. Bring a lightsaber.
Let's fucking do this.
Honestly, if she was free, I bet she'd be down. I don't know.
That's right. It is just a nice, modest collection of weapons.
She She'd kick my ass. Hi, D-Man. What's up?
Look, I am a simple man, and all I know is that haters got mad when Christina was involved with the new Star Wars show. So to me, she is Star Wars because
Absolutely.
fuck those people.
When I met Christina on the set of Sirens, because I was helping out with Sirens at the time, it was her first game. I just was sitting in awe of her. I was like, wow, this is an incredibly special person, and I cannot wait to watch her more. And I have never stopped feeling that way.
I have like there are certain people when you meet them, you're like, holy shit, you are you. Like, yeah. I'm gonna confess, like, for those of you that don't know, I played with Kailey in a Kids on Bikes game on Roll20, and I don't know how I got cast in that motherfucker, because everybody on that show is just like, you're you. Like, there's like it's really wild. There's Markia, who is just amazing. Yeah. There's Sharif, and then there's Shu, and it's just you meet people and you can see the passion that they have for the stuff that they do, which is why I somehow duped all of them.
We had to have this conversation with we were just watching random things on YouTube, and I think it was Actually came up, and Markia was on that, and I'm like, hey, that's the person you're on Kids on Bikes with, and he's like, really? Like, yeah, that's Markia. The freak out happened.
Again, it kind of comes with doing the research on people. Like, Kailey, you popped up in a lot of stuff that I didn't expect you to. I did. Like, it's
I don't remember.
It's kind of weird because, like, you when you meet somebody and you kind of talk to them and you know them, like, when you're just watching nerd content that you like to watch, you don't expect to see like the people that you know on there, and yours is a name and a face that continuously pops up, and a lot of projects. So the other thing is, when do you sleep?
That's a fair question.
No. I'm trying to be better about it. But I will say that coming onto the team at Hyper too has really helped, because now that, like, I feel like I have like a more, I work for The Walking Dead as their community manager. Like, I have like a job instead of a bunch of day jobs and like doing the audition hustle and all that stuff. My work-life balance is a lot better because I'm not trying to do 7 jobs. I have like less than that. But it's always hard, you know, to have that balance. You know, it's a struggle.
I can imagine.
I sleep sometimes.
But out of all the disciplines that you know, producing, voice acting, stage combat, actual acting, and like actual play acting, which is your favorite? If you had to choose one.
This probably comes as being a POC in the entertainment industry too. I like making stuff. I like making the kind of content that I wanted to watch when I was a kid, and then being a part of it. And it's you know, if you hear about it all the time, like, oh well, you got to write, like, you know, if you're POC in the entertainment industry, you got to write your own parts, you got to like build your own table, right? And I enjoy doing that, and I enjoy making a space for other people who are marginalized or are not getting the opportunities that they deserve. I like building a space for them to have those opportunities. And I think that's my favorite thing, because then, like, I get to act, I get to choreograph, I get to produce, I can do whatever I want. I'm my boss, and I get to whatever. I get to do it. It's mine. And I can lift up all of these incredible people that I've admired for so long. That's my favorite thing.
Danny or Decatane in chat is, I'm staring at Kailey's IMDb and I can't take my eyes off Real Hunted of Los Angeles.
That's still on. Oh my god. That's still on.
Somebody's gonna have to do some explaining, right? Like, here's something that's fun.
It was a competition that a friend of mine asked me to help with. It's mostly just me and 2 friends of mine progressively getting more sunburned in some guy's front yard. So, oh God.
The internet is forever, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Here's something that's fun that we can only do with some certain guests, and you're one of them. Which is, would you like to see who you come up with when we put you into Google? Like, there's people also search for. We did this with Markia. I'm curious to see if you can.
If
guess.
it isn't Sage, then I don't know who else it would be.
So when we put you into Google, the also search for comes with Howard Chan, Alexandra Chando, Jeff Bednar, or Max Darwin.
I don't know any of those people.
I don't know any of them either. But those are people also search for when we put you into Google.
Max Darwin? Why does that name sound familiar?
The analytics.
You better hope that you don't actually know them. It's just...
Oh,
I don't know her.
that's why. It's because of Sneaky Pete. Okay.
There you go.
So it's just everyone's like Googling the co-stars on Sneaky Pete, and then we're part of the people that go up. I don't know.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, my next question is, how rough is it living that NDA life? I've only had a couple of NDAs in my career in this crazy geek space, and it's been hard. I've never broken it for legal reasons. I'm saying that looking into the camera. I've never broken it.
No.
But fuck.
Yeah, I think it's hard to also, like, if I'm not directly involved, but because, like, the production companies I'm a part of, or I just, like, you know, it could, because, you know, and you see some discourse, you see something else, you're like, whoosh.
Can't say anything. Can't say anything.
Is there anything? Or checking really fast, because I had to do, I think, like, as we're just right before we go live, I'm like, wait, hang on, no, I don't know that. What you just heard? I didn't hear from me. Sorry. No, it's like, it's fine. It's, I guess you get used to it pretty quickly of just having a bunch of, like, I'm doing a bunch of cool stuff, just follow me on Twitter, and at some point
You'll find out.
Oh, I'll tell you as soon as I can.
Someday I'll be allowed to say something.
Now, I think we got time for one more question before we end up going to break, which is, now I don't know if this is something that you've experienced, but being in as many actual plays and stuff as I have, I've seen this happen a lot, and I'm wondering if you have as well, where there is an assumption that some people have that, you know, they start this expecting to be the next Critical Role or the next Dimension 20. They just come into the space kind of with the attitude that shit, like that they are owed that.
I don't know anybody.
I want to know, having been as close to the, you know, CR team or the or you know, just the Pixel Circus and the Hyper RPG team, you know, these actually established and, you know, professional actual plays and just nerd spaces in general. How do you deal with that attitude of people coming in with an expectation that they should succeed? I don't know if you've encountered it or if you can relate to what I'm trying to. I'm not presenting the question amazingly because I'm having a hard time wording it.
I get what you mean, and I think that something that I'm just lucky to have is I am around and work with people who were in the industry while Critical Role and Dimension 20 and the Adventure Zone and all of these wonderful shows are coming up, and seeing what happened, recognizing that it was lightning in a bottle, and we are very excited for them, and we are making similar content in that it's, like, you know, roughly the same genre, but also We are here to make a good product that reflects the things that we want to do, and we manage, like, everyone that I work with has managed their expectations. Like no one expects an $11 million Kickstarter. I'm glad that happened, because I think that I do think that a rising tide lifts all boats in that capacity of, like, we are bringing tabletop RPGs and actual plays and all sorts of other things that are very near and dear to my heart, and this kind of content creation into the mainstream, and showing so many kinds of people that it is exciting and fun and acceptable to find enjoyment and fulfillment in board games. And
absolutely.
Dungeons and Dragons, or any kind of tabletop RPG and role play. And I think that that's really, really special, and it's given me so many opportunities. Like, without those shows, I wouldn't be able to make the content that I'm making. But we also are very aware of the resources that we have and what our community is. We have a wonderful community, but they want specific things. And it's not necessarily all the time Critical Role, because why would I want to make Critical Role? The people who make Critical Role are very good at making Critical Role. They know what they're doing. I don't know why I would do something. It exists already.
Yeah,
exactly. I thank you so much for that answer. Like, just a quick history on me. Me and Anita met in a game where somebody was trying. Well, it wasn't presented that way to us, but they were essentially trying to recreate Critical Role.
I think you need to be less concerned with making the next Critical Role or the next Dimension 20, and be more concerned with making a product that you're proud of with people that you like. Like, have fun with your friends first, and then see what happens. And if something good happens, something good happens.
Yeah, just make something you believe in, and then whatever happens. But yeah, so if you're one of those people that are trying to force people to play a certain way, or just trying to make your show a certain way, stop it.
It's just not. It feels like you are signing up for a whole lot of difficulty and heartbreak. I was part of an actual play, like one of my very, very first ones that, like, really doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, on the internet. That was kind of like that. And it was, it was a lot of kind of stressful, dramatic wake-up calls for the people who are trying to push in a certain direction. And it's like, it is okay to be different, and honestly, it's probably a little bit better.
Yes, we could all use a little bit more different, because we don't want to. That to me, that's the magic of actual plays and TTRPGs, which is you are allowed to tell stories that Hollywood wouldn't, that TV shows wouldn't. You are allowed to tell stories with people that probably wouldn't be cast and that kind of stuff. So go nuts with it. That's the strength of what we do. So let's stop trying to fit into the mold, because that's kind of the antithesis of
make your own dang mold.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of interactivity. And so, like, which is why I love working for Hyper so much, and at Pixel Circus we do a lot of interactivity as well. It's just because you don't get that, like, it's the best of both worlds for me, between, like, voice acting and on camera acting and live theater, which is where I got my start. Is Twitch is both, and you get to have that, like, real-time audience feedback.
Yeah.
And it's magic. And so getting to, like, do that all the time is the best.
One of my favorite things to do is if I see a suggestion, like, from the audience, like, of, like, a line of dialogue, and I'm like, I like that, I'm gonna take that, and I just incorporate it right off the bat. I'm like, yeah, I'll throw that in there. Why not?
I mean, that's why I truly believe that Twitch, maybe not in this form, but it's closer than any other form, is the future of entertainment, because it's a TV show that can talk back.
Yeah.
Which is fucking magic. But that being said, we're gonna go and have ourselves a 10 minute break.
Yeah.
A 10-minute break. to go be human and do human things, we highly recommend that you also go ahead and be human and do human things. Also want to take a second to call out Cosmic Demon Wolf. Thank you very much for the bits. Just a reminder, all the bits that are being donated this
Bits
month.
and subs this month all go to the Trans Law Center.
Boom.
And
So,
there is a Tiltify link too. If you
There's
wanna...
a Tiltify link. That's why you're the boss. You know all that stuff. I was actually just bringing it up, waiting for you to fill in the gaps.
Thanks,
So we're gonna go ahead and go on our break. Happy Pride if you can't make it back, and I'll see you in 10.
And we're back.
Hello, everybody. We are back with the. Hold on. Let me fix my captions because they're not coming. Oh no, they are.
Yeah,
coming
they're there.
across. All right, never mind. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second half of our episode of Morning Ritual today. Before we get into what I like to call the darker roast, where we ask our more serious questions, which inevitably leads to the that guy segment. Yeah, prepare yourself. There are a few things that I, being a sloppy host, have missed, which is we have a question that we ask every guest, and I completely forgot to ask, so we're gonna do that now. Which is, Kailey, did you know that there is a war going on in the TTRPG community? No. There are technically two sides, but there are three sides if you're a coward. There's the people that believe that dice are forbidden candy that one should crunch on. There are people that believe that dice don't belong in your mouth. Stop crunching. And then there are Kailey. And then there are the cowards that like to live in between because they don't want to make a choice. No, Kailey, no.
Crunch responsibly.
Wait, hold on. Are those chewable? Are those edible dice?
Gummy dice!
Gummy dice! We stand gummy dice because they're edible. Regular dice, you don't eat. You don't put regular dice in your mouth. Right?
No, choking hazard. No, nobody, no, do not. Is it the Tide Pod thing all over again? Children!
Thank you! Stop the crunch.
They make edible ones!
They make
those!
See, but the people that crunch on dice are like, but edible dice are crunching. We don't want to crunch, we want to crunch.
My teeth were real expensive.
Yep.
So I need to inform you of the side that you're on right now. Okay. So I wish I had the list of guests. We need to stamp their sides on there. By the way, babe, that's a new graphic we need.
Yeah.
So far, I can tell you that Brennan Lee Mulligan, who is my hero, is an absolute coward who refuses to choose a side.
He was Team Crunch responsibly.
There is no Team Crunch responsibly. That man is a coward. I love you, Brennan.
Responsible crunch!
Okay, well, yeah, edible dice. B Dave is on the side of stop the crunch.
That tracks.
Now let me tell you about our friend Abria.
Okay. One, Abria will choose chaos every time. Two, dice envy. Of course she's gonna, like...
Abria is a crunch
Abria's
weapon stealer.
Abria's on the side of big dice. She cannot be trusted.
No, you already knew. Abria's like, not only do I support the crush, I want to fund it. She came here, looked me dead in my human eyes. It was just like, I want to find a way to make the ink smell like candy so that people are more inclined to crunch the dice.
Dude, and I like last night I rolled one of these and I got a 1 in a game with a Bria, and so I ate it.
You know what? We should be playing
rolled a 1.
We should be playing with nothing but edible dye, so when they roll terribly, we can punish them.
I either eat the edible dice or the resin dice. They go in the shoes. They go in my boots.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because that tweet banged.
Why did I go viral for feet pics? I'm so upset.
I didn't think about that. Ew.
I saw that picture and I'm like, where do I get those boots? Where do I get them?
I will send you a link. You either.
I feel like you've been assaulted by people asking you about where to get those damn boots. Cause like,
I mean, it's not even like other people did it before I did. I just apparently hit the internet sweet spot.
I mean,
like after you post that, just for like a week, my timeline was nothing but people with those guys So if for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Kailey has Kailey has these platform boots with clear heels, and she put dice in the heels, so the platforms are just filled with dice. And now, like, everybody's doing it.
I got a notification on that tweet today. I should meet it, but like, people are still coming across it. I'm like, oh my god.
I realized that if I actually get edible dice, I can use the gumball machine to good use.
Yeah.
I highly recommend this company. They taste good, and the customer service was very good, and they're creative.
But how is shipping to Canada is usually the deciding factor, unfortunately.
Yeah, that I do not know. I know that it was available, but in the summer, I don't know what that looks like, because also whether or not the candy will last. I'm
sorry, I'm laughing at Sam. The stomach is the ultimate dice channel. And D-Man goes, are those boots big enough for Kailey's luck?
D-Man, I think, has seen all of my most hilarious bad rolls. There was a game. There was an episode of the Witcher RPG on Hyper where I rolled a 3 on. We had to roll D10s for Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 3 every single time.
How?
I don't know. But it was every single time. It wasn't even a 1. It was just a 3.
I truly hope those die ended up in the boot.
They were mine. I was in the studio at Hyper, so I just put them. We have a bucket at Hyper, so I just put them in the bucket.
There's a bad luck bucket?
Yeah.
Might I submit a name for this bucket? I would just like to, if I'm never involved with Hyper RPG, I just would like to have this added to your history, which is the Fuck It bucket.
I'm sure we can call it that.
If it doesn't have a name, let it now have that.
The only other people I am aware of who roll quite as badly as I do are Zach Eubank and Will Wheaton. It's like that's the league I'm playing in with how my rolls go. I have a dice that are like blessed by Will Wheaton because I was trying to see if 2 negatives would make a positive, and those are the only ones that roll consistently above a 10.
Huh.
What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? Okay. So now that we've gotten the crotch out of the way and we have your stamp, you are firmly on Stop the Crotch, which God bless you on the side of the angels.
Support a small business.
Yeah, support a small business. You crunchers are working on the side of capitalism by just chewing on dice and buying more dice. You know what? So help support small businesses by eating your dice instead of crunching. But now we get into the dark roast. So I'm gonna ask a few questions about your time in this space.
Mm-hmm.
As a POC and a woman, which double whammy. I have to ask, like, do you attribute any of your experiences to being who you are? Like, has there been a time where you're just like, oh, I am actively dealing with prejudice right now? And how, if there has been an experience like that, how did you deal with it and kind of move past it? Or if you didn't move past it, like, how did you just deal with it in general?
So I'm actually really, really lucky, and I think that's why I make the stuff that I make and I am the way that I am. My first DM was queer, non-binary, and a big I went to art school, so it was like a boarding school for the arts, and we like found a back room in the library, and it was all like, it was the weird kids of the weird kids at art school. And it was, so all of us found each other and learned this game together. So I didn't have that initial experience of, well, you're a person of color, you're a woman, you're queer, like, you don't belong in this space. I wasn't aware of that. For my first experience.
That is amazing.
And I am so lucky. I'm so lucky. And so now I think that's kind of what I've built my brand on, is I love new players. Please let me introduce you to this wonderful thing that I have, because then coming into the space, it hurt my feelings how many people were like, oh yeah, like, I always wanted to try, but they said girls didn't play, or it was like all of these grognards who wanted to talk about FACO and
Kid, I've never heard the term grognards, and now it is my favorite thing.
Oh, grognards are, and they're like, there's people who are like proud grognards, and I've met some great people who would, kind of refer to themselves that way, but like the old school, like, crunchy rules.
A lot of OSR people are grognards.
Yeah, and like, there's not, like, look, I don't have anything wrong with that. It's just, it becomes a problem when you're excluding people, right? And so I just, because I'm still friends with my first GM. They're one of my oldest and dearest friends, and so the fact that they gave me that gift, I want to share it with the world. And so I think that's one of the great things about, like, doing something that, like, combining something that is traditionally, like, femme or just for girl. We got so many, like, DMs and like wonderful messages from people who were like, my favorite Disney princesses are playing this game, and so it's cool because the princesses are cool, so I can talk about it to my friends now. And they, like, took pictures of all of their princess dolls, like, set up around a table in the exact, like, formation that ours were in the show, and sent it to us. Or, like, their character sheets that they finally got to, like, show all their friends because the princesses were doing it, so it was okay now. And I was just like, what? That's why I do this, is because these kids or even, just people who wanted to be those kids and didn't get the chance.
That's so wholesome.
They're using our show or just, like, our experiences to to finally feel comfortable enough to jump into the game. And that's it's I was so lucky.
That's amazing.
Like, and I just gotta share it. It was like, I'm so lucky, and I, like, I've had my share of people who don't think that I belong, but because I have such a strong foundation, I'm so grateful for it. Like, I started belonging, and now I'm really successful, and I feel good about the success that I have, and it's like I feel successful, whether the other way that other people measure success isn't important, but I feel successful, and I'm knowledgeable, and I want more people in this hobby. It's man, it is so it revitalizes me every time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When the table's not big enough, you make your own table.
Yeah. But I started at such a big table.
Yeah.
I never had to experience people being turned away, and it's so nice.
I have to say, like, one of the blessings is that you created the damsels, because they could, if some soulless corporation or some dude was just like, oh, this is an idea that would make money, like, they wouldn't be able to connect the way that you can connect to these people that are talking to you directly. So thank God that you made this is the thing that I'm taking away from that. That is so sweet. Like, I mean, because usually, I ask the question, if you're in the space and you're filming your PLC, like, tell us about your origin. And there's been a lot of darkness from that question. Eventually it becomes light, but seeing somebody who started at a welcoming table and then made a even bigger table that got more people into this hobby, oh boy, that's good.
It makes me happy.
That's just some good stuff for this Saturday morning.
This is supposed to be the dark roast, but it's so wholesome.
Oh, don't worry, I'll fix it.
Kailey is a literal Disney princess.
That's why I feel bad that I have to ask this next question, but here we go. This begins our That Guy segment of the show. If you have not seen
Hard left turn.
Like, are we gonna stay wholesome, huh? Okay, we'll see. No. But if you have been in the TTRPG community, chances are you have experienced the unpleasantness of being at a table with a that guy. If you don't know what that is, that's being at a table with somebody who is a black hole of fun. Somebody who, if they were yeeted from the table into the sun, your experience would be enhanced and you would have a much better time. And we have discussed this with just about everybody who has sat down and joined us on the show. We have had your traditional that guys, which is your railroady, puppeteering, manipulative and controlling and combative DMs and players. And we have had some truly extraordinarily depraved individuals, people that bite, gaslight, and do all other manners of unpleasant things. So, Kailey, our Disney princess, I have to ask you, have you experienced a bad guy?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we all have. Although I think that because I tend to, and it's probably because I tend to be in control of a lot of my spaces, I avoid a lot of them. But my first DM for 5th edition, and I was like still trying to connect with the like nerd community in LA, and I was like trying to find a game, and so someone was like, "Oh, I'll run a game for you." I was like, "Heck yeah, that sounds great!" And I think it was like the second or third session. Maybe he ran Lost Mines. He started to run Lost Mines.
Good place to start.
Yeah, totally legitimate place to start. but I think it's like the second or third session, and trigger warning, we ended up at one of the like the bandit taverns. I can't remember. It's been a long time for me since Lost Mines. And I had a low roll, and he decided that the solution for that low roll was to begin to RP and narrate the assault of my character.
Yeah.
And
can you give me their name and address? I just want to have a talk.
They might be dead now. I don't know. He literally disappeared off the face of the planet. It was because I started in such a good table with a bunch of DMs who were either queer or POC, or femme. Like, this was my first like cis hetero white man DM, and I was like, oh, no thank you, never again for me. I'm like, everybody else needs to be very vetted before this happens again, or I'm just running the games.
Yeah.
Because I also like I get very protective of the people I'm around, and like it was like my roommates and friends at the time, and then this guy, and all of us went, so that's never happening again. And I didn't realize, it's one of those things where you don't realize what's happening until it's happening, and then you get kind of stuck.
Yep. That's why safety tools are so essential at a table. And if a DM tells you that they're not willing to use safety tools, run.
Yeah.
I don't understand why this is as common as it is.
Because it's happened to me too. Like, this has happened. Like,
I mean, it's happened to me. Like, I don't. Well, I don't know why it's so. You know what? The thing is, I think I do know why there are a certain brand of nerd that thinks that that's a drastic and like serious story tool, which is because we have that kind of stuff in our popular media that it shouldn't be. Like, you know, I take a look back at some of my favorite shows growing up, and that's there. Like, it's in Buffy, it's in all of the shit that I grew up watching, and it's just like that doesn't enhance the story. It doesn't make it more realistic. It doesn't make it gritty. It makes it unpleasant, and it just that does not belong in games. People, let's stop.
Or, you know, if that is a part of storytelling that you and your table are really passionate about exploring for whatever your reasons are, like, just make sure everybody's on the same page. Like, because you can't just throw that in for like storytelling spice and expect that to be an okay thing. But I think a lot of people who aren't constantly like, that's not like a shadow hanging over them of something that they need to be worried about all the time. They like, it is just a storytelling tool for a certain subset of people. And I think that because we have so much more access now to people's stories and people like really having like discussions about the effect that has, I think that subset is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which is great because people are just getting more educated. Mm-hmm. But they're still there, and so it's having things like safety tools is really helpful, because the more thoughtfully we can approach subject matter like that, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna get into specifics, but very recently there was an instance of something like this happening on a popular AP, and I think the public response to that, I think it was a beacon that this is not something that we're doing anymore. Just collectively, as a space, we're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
I've told the story a few times on this show about one of my very first experiences with what I can now describe as grognards. They didn't like me in their game, and so they hung my character. And like that was my that was my welcome to TTRPG. And
I just want to talk.
Right?
Turn on your location, please.
But the thing is, like, there's been such a swelling of voices in this space that are basically saying the same thing, which is we're not doing this anymore. You're not going to get away with it. You're not going to get away with it on an actual play, and you're not going to get away with it at your table. Just talk to your players, draw lines and veils with your players, use safety tools, because we're not. The reason that people allowed that shit to go on in the first place is because they felt like they didn't have options.
Right.
If I want to play D&D, then I just got to suck it up and let the DM do whatever they want to me. That's not the case anymore. TTRPGs are hotter than they've ever been, so it is a privilege to be a GM, and if we find that you are abusing that privilege, you will no longer have players at your table, because in order to be a GM, you need players.
Yeah.
So, sorry to go on that tangent. I just
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm sick of that answer being an answer. I'm sick of it's just come on, guys.
I'm really lucky though that like I don't get a lot of that guys. I get a lot of that guys on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
I get a lot of that guys who are like who are you? What do you think you're doing? Get your princesses out of my Dungeons and Dragons. To which I'm like, no.
No, Beach.
No, I think I will do this professionally, actually. Oh, does that hurt your feelings? Good.
Enjoy that along with my check mark.
I forgot who it was that I was talking to, but I think I asked them something like, yo, I have seen the comments that you get from people about your TTRPG shit, and it's harsh. How do you deal with it? And she told me like, you want to know how I deal with it? I know I can deal with it because I know Matt Mercer is their hero. And I'm like, yeah, what if they have to do with anything? She goes, I just ignored his text. I was like, God damn, that's the most savage shit. So it's just like a lot of this hate is coming from the fact that these people are upset that the hobby, I'm not saying the hobby is being taken over, it's just the hobby is being opened up, and they're realizing that they're not as good as they thought they were. Because when there's actual competition,
spaghetti about it.
Fucking adorable. But yeah, I love what I see happening in this space, and I love the fact that motherfuckers are gotta die mad about the fact that they're Disney princesses.
I like Daddy. No, I don't think that I will. I think I will make money from this instead.
Well, it's like, look, y'all, and I saw a TikTok about this actually, so it made me giggle. Is like, I have been in acting conservatories since I was 13. I went to a boarding school and then Juilliard. If you think you can say something worse than those acting teachers at conservatory said to me, you're wrong. I've heard worse. And I've survived that. I paid to hear worse. I have student debt for hearing worse. You can't. I'm untouchable.
And the thing is, everything that you just listed, like you listed all of the credits, all of the things that taught you how to do. What these bums think they can do better than you.
With no training.
Like, are you out of your goddamn mind?
You can't hurt my feelings worse than conservatory did. You can't. You just can't.
Are you out of your goddamn mind? There's no way you can do this better than somebody as trained as you. Like, and they'll believe that they can. That's the thing that just, I don't understand it. I I don't understand these people, but God bless them.
But don't
God
you know
bless
that
them.
man's name bunch of numbers has a very important opinion about this that you need to
So it
hear?
should be man's name, bunch of numbers with an anime character.
With an anime
as a
Abby.
profile pic.
Or the egg. Just
Or
the egg.
Just the egg.
Sam goes, no troll is worse than an acting teacher / fellow acting student. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on my
Drama.
I only have high school and college, a little bit of college acting experience, and like there was always the star male and the star female that would always get like the best parts. And all throughout high school, I was cool with those two. They were great. But in college, like I had evil versions of them.
Oh no.
Holy fucking shit. Like, we found the theater kids.
Yeah. My peers were never the problem. It was always like the institution. Which, you know, it's just all of us were just in a meat grinder at that point. We were just, it was a
Trying to break you down.
Yeah.
So here's my next question that I always ask guests, which is you are allowed to have any 5 people at a TTRPG table as long as they're alive right now. Who do you have sit and play with you?
And they don't have to be TTRPG related.
Yeah, you could anybody in the world. Like I think my last one was like Michelle Obama, fucking Chris Rock or something. Like just any 5 people in the world.
Okay, and I'm gonna.
I like all the theater kids in chat are just commiserating right now.
Yeah.
I know they're all going over their trauma.
Sorry, y'all. Gosh, you know, I'm gonna restrict it to people that I haven't been able to play with yet.
Okay.
Because I have been.
So there's like 4 people
lucky.
then.
I've been very, very lucky. I really, really want to play an RPG with my mom.
Ooh, that's sweet.
Who else?
And you can choose to either be the GM or have somebody else GM. Like,
oh yeah, I don't even know. I've been so lucky to play with so many great people. I just want to play with them like again. I would love to play in a level 20 game with B-Dave.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because I've played with him a lot, but I've never done the epic level that he is just like an expert at, and I would love to. It's just so much fun to like be around people doing something that they're good at, like, and just like get to watch them be good at their thing. It's the best. Who else do I want to play with? This is a really hard question for me.
Aw,
it's a hard
Sam.
question for everybody. Phil.
Because most of the people that I want to play with, I'm like, hey, do you want to come be a Disney princess? And then they come and play with me. It's the best. We just had Karen David on the Walking Dead Twitch. And I am a Gallivant super fan. So that was like one of the first times that I was starstruck. We mentioned, you know, I think we talked about RPGs briefly. I would love to have her at my table. And
Wasn't she Jasmine in Once Upon a Time?
yeah, she was. But like Nora's our Jasmine. Nora is the perfect Princess Jasmine. But I think I'd love to play with Karen David. That's like those are the people that are just like popping into my head. I've forgotten every name of any person I've ever known.
Sam in chat's first time they GM'd 5e. Their dad played his first time.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to run a game for my family. I think that maybe it's wholesome hours again, but like for my mom and my sister and my brother-in-law, like I want to do the thing that I'm good at and like share the thing that I really love with them.
Aw.
That's wholesome and sweet. And
It's okay. I
Jesus.
like the diversions into wholesome. We need more of that in our games, and I think we need more of that in.
I'm being foiled.
Our
I'm trying to
world.
bring the darkness. No, I'm kidding. So now here's my question. As the expert in all things princess, I am going to challenge you to assign princesses to some of the most prominent or fairy tale characters of any type, your choice, to some prominent names in the TTRPG space. So let's say let's start with Anita up here.
Huh? What? Huh?
What Disney individual would you say that Anita fits as?
Huh?
Oh, that's interesting. Because normally I go the other way around. Like, who is your dream Disney character? Can I make that happen for you? Like, I don't cast. Like, I try and work with people because, like, that's like if I'm asking somebody to guest on my show, I'd be like, who's your dream?
Oh, this is just in general. Like, I am challenging your Disney-ness.
I don't know Anita well enough to.
That's.
Wow. Really, Flynn Rider. Ooh, that'd be a good one.
That would be so much fun.
I could crossplay Flynn.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
That'd be pretty lit. Let's see. Who in the TTRPG space do we think would be a good hook?
Well, Jason Charles Miller played our hook at
damn, that's gonna be my answer.
In Damsels, and he's perfect, and I love him, and God, he was so good. He was so good. He was so fun.
I need to see that episode. There's so much I need to catch up on.
We have a lot, yeah. We had
who hasn't been on the sorry, continue.
We had Jason's hook, and we had Rachel
Uncle.
Seeley as Wendy and Erica Fermina as Tinkerbell.
Oh.
And they
Which character
guested together. It was beautiful.
Which character hasn't been on Damsels yet that you'd like to see?
Um,
And also, Ryan, that was going to be my second choice. Punkle would be a sick ass hook.
Uncle would be a good hook.
Now we need Jason and Punkle to have a hook off.
Oh,
I
we love
think-
it, yeah.
That doesn't sound right. Now that I say it.
I would like.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to pitch something. Punkle is Rufio.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Listen, Dante
the one-
Basco.
Yeah.
Far away.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Dante's also invited always.
Somebody get Dante on the board.
Yeah. My only restriction which is the only reason why I'm like Punkle for Rufio maybe not, is we do cast culturally and
Yeah,
ethnically.
that's fair.
We honor that, so that does like. Ooh, Robin Hood.
Hood.
Punkle would be a good Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I will say, Joe Starr from D&D Beyond guested as our Merlin, and I was trying to convince him to be Robin Hood because he would have been so good. But his
Beat Davis Baymax.
Danny.
he does give the best hugs.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining him in the suit.
Yeah. I don't know where. So wholesome.
You can't tell him I said it too.
Yeah.
Somebody clip it.
Yeah, we've had. I mean, the great thing about the fairy tale and pop culture canon is there's just so many like we've had Bing Bong, we've had Panic, we've had Hook.
You've had Hades too, right?
We've not had Hades yet.
Ooh.
I played Hades as an NPC once.
Who is your dream Hades? Anybody in the world? Or the TTRPG community,
I think that Todd Stashwick would be a killer Hades. Although I also would call him. It's like I would probably call Todd also, just be like, hey, you want to do Draken for a one shot? We'll see. I got to play one of my favorite characters in a one shot he ran for Fenway's birthday for Jasper's, and it was so much fun. He's a great DM.
Aw. Oh my god.
I'm just having fun with everybody in chat going off on these fucking answers.
Noir, who would you like to play?
Yeah, who's your Disney dream?
Who's your Disney dream?
I feel like
Darth Vader. No, I'm just kidding.
You could do the voice.
No, I can't. Let's see. A Disney character proper? I mean, you guys can start to do the Avengers. I'm not Disney. Fairy tale. Sorry.
Right. Well, Markia played Shuri.
Why is that perfect?
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
That's
Gabe
Gabe played Kovu. Omega was Scar.
Really? You gonna cast me as Mushu? Decide on you. Decide on your family.
You would kill that part.
Dishonor on your cow.
Dishonor on your cow.
Oh, have you had a Gaston? I don't want to be Gaston, but I need to know if you have and who it was.
No. So one of my favorite moments on Damsels is I think chat got to donate to spawn an NP, like just like a random character, and every episode they can donate to make us start a 2-minute musical interlude where we just have to sing everything we say for 2 minutes. And so they spawned both of those things at once. And so Gaston popped out of a book in a library, and they fought and destroyed him in song about like toxic masculinity, and it was the best. But I had to play Gaston and like sing the Gaston song about being beaten up by a bunch of feminists, and it's great.
No one hits like Gaston, no one crits like Gaston.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You know who I would cast as like now I'm just having fun casting Disney characters or fairy tale characters. Anyway, Tall Squall is a sweetheart. I love Tall Squall with my entire chest. I think they would kill Gaston. I think they would kill it.
Oh, Danny though.
Oh, Danny.
Danny.
Because it has to be like a real life himbo. Like it has to be a real good bean to play somebody that messed up.
Okay,
right?
now we're getting into it. Is Gaston a himbo?
No, not at all.
I didn't think so.
Himbos drink respect women juice all the time. So you need somebody who IRL drinks the respect women juice to play somebody who does not. Otherwise, it is just a bad time for everyone.
Correct. Yeah, then he's just an asshole.
Hercules is a himbo.
It is strong, big, and respects women.
Yeah.
Just drinks women, respects women. Can somebody make that an actual beverage?
We'll make mugs with respect women juice.
Yeah.
Along with I like the ones that say male tears.
Same.
Listen, Anita, write it down, please. I need that mug. I'm not kidding. We'll work with Nyx. We'll make the mug. Respect women juice mugs. They're coming out.
Oh, Luis would be a good guest on.
I'm still trying to figure out who would be a good Rufio. I can't think of anybody. Who could we cast as a good Rufio?
My friend Ryan Omega would probably do it. He was one of my first GMs on live streams.
It's in the book.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Or Dante.
Yeah, just get Dante Basco in there.
Oh yeah, that's
just get Rufio to play Rufio.
I don't know how we dupe anybody at all into this show. So when you say get Dante, I'm just like, okay. After that, I'll just punch Jesus. Like that's how impossible it sounds.
I have learned that if you reach out to someone and say, "Who's your dream Disney character? Do you want to come play a board game as your dream Disney character?" A lot of people are like they want to do that, and if you have a reputation for having like a fun, inclusive game, and a wonderful community. We've been really lucky to have some really fabulous people.
Have you had a Peter yet?
No Peter yet.
Super
Okay,
Dylan.
there's only one answer for Peter. I'm sorry. It is Diana.
Oh, Bella.
Super Dilly. Bella Boondoggles as Rufio.
Nice.
I can see that. Sorry, we're just booking your show. Sorry, this is just fun. Like,
It's so much fun, right? And like and there's so much. Like, I want to do more Atlantis, because we have Cynthia Marie as our Kita, and schedules just haven't super lined up. But like, oh my God, a Milo Thatch. Anyone?
Oh, no,
anyone
I take it back. I want to be Milo now.
Oh, Milo's a good one. I love a Milo.
Has there been a Lilo or a Stitch?
So I have been Lilo and Stitch. I decided to do a Lilo and Stitch like side quest, and I didn't realize how much I knew about how all of those characters sounded and what all of the experiments from like the television shows were, and maybe I hyper focused on Lilo and Stitch a whole lot more than I thought I did. Oh my God, it was mostly me talking to myself as all of the characters from Lilo and Stitch, and it was one of my favorite episodes.
Can I just be the black dude from Lilo and Stitch?
Cobra Bubbles. I love Cobra Bubbles. Oh my God. And they used a wish spell. They used a wish spell that I was having them save for the final boss battle. No. Wish spell to make the property surrounding Lilo and Nani's house a kingdom so that Lilo could be a princess.
Oh, this fucking stop being so wholesome. I can't take it.
They have made so many little girls and like children in the show princesses. It is kind of amazing. They really do. They find a way with the powerful magical items that I give them to use them in the silliest possible ways. It's the best.
Bo goes, can I be the guy who always drops his ice cream from Lilo and Stitch?
That is the best use of. That is the only use of a wish spell. I will hear no other use of the wish spell.
It was good.
I
That's
have
my favorite moment.
All right, so here's my next question, because our dark roast got a lot lighter than I thought it'd be, which is,
Fine.
What is the most wholesome moment from Damsels? Is it the Lilo moment?
It might be the Lilo moment. There was a donation goal once where they were all running through Paris to fix the Eiffel Tower, a bunch of other stuff, and I was like running it on a real cursed mashup of a bunch of properties. But because it was like Valentine's Day weekend, I had them. One of the donation goals was they needed to save the date, and so they would just run into a date that was going badly, and they had to like all come together to help like save the date and help them out. So there's some wholesome moments coming from that. I don't know, D-Man's in chat, right? I don't know. I think the most wholesome moment was probably the Lilo moment of we're gonna make Lilo. Like we're gonna make Lilo a princess. There was also Cinderella has been trying so hard to get a spot on Jasmine's flying carpet, and it just right now it's because she's like lower level. It's like really just like little tiny little like 5 foot square. It just fits her. But in the level up, I let it expand to one more spot, and so the moment that they got to RP where Cinderella could finally fit on the flying carpet and fly with Jasmine, also very wholesome. We have a lot of wholesome moments. We're princesses.
Has there been an Aladdin?
No Aladdin yet. We haven't had a lot of like direct princes.
Okay.
The closest, which was like, it wasn't a prince, but like the closest like cross property one.
Most of the princes are dicks, honestly.
Or they're the lesser like they're not as interesting characters for a lot of it, right? We had a Poe. Anthony Carboni came on and played Poe. That was really, really fun. But that...
I'm trying to think of, like, other male fantasy characters that, like, Danny would make it pretty... Oh, duh! There's only one answer for who would play Aladdin. There's only one answer.
KP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
KP would kill it.
Oh, I would
KP
love
would
to have
kill
KP
it.
on the show.
KP would kill it. Oh my god. Sorry. I just saw the costume and everything in my head. Like, yeah, I'll fund it. So here's a question: will there ever be a Damsels live show?
I mean, I'm always open to it. It's definitely a possibility, like at a convention or something. I want to make sure the thing about bringing the princesses anywhere is it costs more than just talent fee, right? We got to do like we need wigs and costumes and make I need to pay for cosplays. We need to fund cosplays. We need to fund talent time, space at a convention, whether we're invited or we did do a stunt at WonderCon 2019 where we threw a picnic blanket like around where they take like around like the cosplayer photo area at WonderCon in Anaheim, and we all sat down and we spread out Dungeons and Dragons and our like maps, and we started playing Dungeons and Dragons as the princesses in like all of these we're with all the other cosplayers running around and all the photographers running around. So we got some really, really good press
That's sick.
right before the second episode aired. So that's like the closest thing we've done to like a live show. But yeah, we would I mean, there's the possibilities always there.
I would easily pay money to see that. That's just everything about this idea is so brilliant that I'm sorry if I'm harping on it because I know you do so much other stuff.
That's my baby, my passion project. Like I have 5 more episodes of the scripted show written, but those episodes cost like minimum $10,000 to make each one.
Ooh,
so they are expensive. And because it's a big cast and it's a really, really just high production quality show. And so for like a 10-minute episode, for it to be like $1,000 a minute of finished material.
Yeah. Have you considered a Kickstarter?
We did a GoFundMe, or we did an Indiegogo for the second episode.
Right.
Because the first episode I funded, and a lot of it was like people donating their time and their resources and all coming together. And then when that one blew up a little bit, we're like, okay, well, we're gonna run the Indiegogo for the second episode. We got the second episode funded. But the rest of it, it's gonna be tough. Because honestly, we're getting to the point where we need to start paying our talent like properly. Like our talent consistently donated their time, which was really kind of them. But
yeah,
like I need to pay my talent, and I need to we want to just keep evolving the show, right? Like the first episode, it was like really great and it was like a big thing. And they're like, okay, well, how do we up the ante? We're gonna add a bunch of VFX and special effects. Like our second episode, my director was like, I have this idea and I'm gonna bring on this animator so that we can have a surprise at the end. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil it because it's actually like we're really proud of it. But
all I have to say is like from everything I'm hearing, first off, as soon as this is over, I'm binging the show. And second off, I think a Kickstarter for this would do extremely well. I know that any support that I could throw at it, I totally would, because I want to see what you put together when you don't have to worry about putting it together.
It would be nice. And now that like we're starting to be able to like be in groups again, it's definitely something we're considering. Because the live show is taking on its own kind of life too, we want to make sure that both things are able to be supported and like have their own lives, because they are like, they're separate projects and they're intertwined and a lot of the same people are working on them, but it's also they're very different beasts. But if we do like a large scale like Kickstarter, it'll be for the whole rest of the season.
Yeah. Which
will be tens of thousands of dollars. And I want to make sure that like if we're gonna take on a Kickstarter of that scale, I need to learn a few more things before we.
Yeah, I mean
before we
that
get
is honestly a lot, a lot that you'd be putting on. And we kind of had a conversation before the cameras started rolling, where it's just like, you know, Critical Role. I sincerely doubt that they expected they'd hit what they hit, so that's kind of the risk you run. Which is like, you know, you want to make your goal, but you don't also you don't want to like knock it out of the stratosphere.
Well, and if we knock it out of the stratosphere, then we get in legal trouble.
Yeah.
Which we can't. We can't. So it's like they wouldn't let us. So it would be it's a tricky lane to walk, and
yeah,
you know, like a fan, you know, derivative works are absolutely a thing. So we're just, and we have a lawyer. Like we crossed, you know, dotted the I's, crossed the T's. Like we're mostly fine, but doing a big project like that, like a big Kickstarter,
yeah,
it makes things just more complicated. So we want to make sure we do it right.
I mean, the more you talk about this, again, the more I respect the hustle that you fucking put into just being able to just off the bat. Yeah, we got a lawyer. Like, fuck, kudos. Like you.
California's really great. They have a pro bono program called California Lawyers for the Arts, and if you show that you have the like requisite like financial need, they will assign a lawyer to your case, and if you know, it's like a $40 processing fee, and then they'll take the case pro bono if they're interested.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
And if you're in California, you just learned about a new resource.
It's such a, oh my god, it saved my bacon when when we found out about it. Whew.
I love Ray. Ray goes to Mouse is like, y'all making money over here? Let's chat.
Mouse doesn't know anything about us. We're fine.
Oh my god, what I would give for a big budget season of Dances, that would be extraordinarily cool.
We would love that. And it will at some point. I think it'll happen at some point, as far as at least finishing the season, big budget, small budget, like, and we'll do it the way that I want, like the way that we envision it to be. It's just gonna take some time, which is okay because I've got nothing but time.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of projects that you are on and projects that both of you are on, Kids on Bikes. Kids on Bikes.
It's such a fun.
So fun. I love that show so much. Any word on if there's going to be a second season of it yet, or are you still sort of working with Roll20 on that one?
There should be some good news soon.
See, that's how a professional handles the question, and that's how I handle the question. So that we can get a direct comparison.
We're working on some stuff, and we're moving in some positive directions, and I'm pretty excited about an announcement ideally we get to make soon.
And what I have to add to that is
the question in chat though is Goofy a himbo?
Is Goofy?
I don't think he's.
I don't know. Strong.
He's not strong enough. He might be like a bim boy.
A bim? What?
There's a chart. There's a chart.
Did you just fucking say bim boy?
Am I wrong?
Well, here's the thing. Let's talk. Is Kingdom Hearts included in this canon?
Probably. I don't know enough about Kingdom Hearts lore.
Nobody knows it. Look, this is about to get me on a fucking rant that nobody wants, so I'm just gonna stop talking. Nah, fuck that. Nobody knows the Kingdom Hearts lore. Okay, Kingdom Hearts doesn't know how to fucking count. Let me show you something. There, 1, 2, 3. Right? That's pretty simple, right? Not for Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 2.4, Kingdom Hearts 2.5, Kingdom Hearts Dream.com, Dream.distance. No, fuck Kingdom Hearts. They had 2 good games, and then they had a plethora of what the fuck is this, and then a 3rd game that nobody understands because the lore has gone backwards, forwards, crisscross, scallywag. Nah, fuck it. Kingdom Hearts doesn't have lore anymore. Okay.
I'm confused.
Kingdom Hearts doesn't even know Kingdom Hearts lore.
Yeah,
That's a fan of the
fair.
Kingdom Hearts series. You're right.
Liam O'Brien is the Ben Boy to Travis's himbo.
Liam is also anyone standing next to Travis looks like maybe they don't work. Liam works out. Like, I don't know.
I'm sorry that you have to be a part of this episode because now I have to say some other things. Liam needs to work out. And you want to know why Liam needs to work out? Because it's on site for Liam O'Brien. If I catch Liam O'Brien slipping in the streets, I'm decking him. It's all hands on deck for Liam O'Brien. If I ever see him, it's just hands. I'm going to have him autograph these knuckles.
Liam?
I'm so sorry, Kailey. As somebody I'm in a show with, I always want to show you my best sides. When you are on this show where I have to show you the worst of me, if I see Liam anywhere, it's a fight immediately.
There's no reason for it.
Why are we fighting Liam?
To be fair, though, he's also fighting Australia.
Oh,
yeah, if
it's Australia, you're gonna lose.
The entire continent of Australia, it's on site for you. If I hear a good day, mate, I'm swinging on you.
Oh boy.
I forgot there's somebody else I put on the list. I don't remember. I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to remember and I can't.
I can't either.
Incredible.
But anyway, Kingdom Hearts lore.
Doesn't make sense.
Goofy is a bim boy, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know who fits on what scale. I don't know. He's not a buff guy, or Goofy's too lanky to be a himbo.
That's fair.
You know,
He
now
is
you
the
got
fighter
me
in Kingdom
thinking.
Hearts, though.
Now you got me thinking, though. If there was a 4-way battle royale between Taliesin, Travis, Matt, and Liam, we all know that Travis wins. But I'm more concerned about who's second and third in that fight.
The fact that you think Travis wins. This is also, it's weird to talk about people that I like kind of
Yeah.
know. But
Let them know this is a conversation you had. And then let Liam know if I see him, it's on.
No.
I mean, Taliesin wins all physical or mental or any kind of conflict ever. Taliesin just wins.
I can't believe
Taliesin just wins.
I refuse to live in a world where Taliesin could beat Travis. I'm sorry.
It's all about the head games first, man. And Taliesin's an immortal being.
Yeah, an eldritch being.
Yeah.
Older than time and the stars.
I'm
itself.
not playing into this game that the creators have created. You hear me?
He's a literal pyramid.
That's before. This was before Critical Role that people assumed that Taliesin is centuries old. Like, this is it's just something that we all just know.
Look at Travis. He is built like a Greek god.
He
It's
wouldn't
like throwing
hurt
Cthulhu
a
into a
fly.
boxing match with actors.
And he wouldn't hurt a fly.
I love it. Like, out of all the conversations we could be having about Critical Role right now, this is the one that we're having.
In the light of the campaign just ending.
Screw that. I want to know who wins in the fight. Like, we've already established who wins in the fight between Marisha and Laura and Ashley.
Why are we making these humans fight each other?
Because I
It's
want
very
Celebrity
confusing.
Deathmatch to come back for the TTRPG community.
Oh God.
No.
I don't know. I've done it. I've sullied the wholesome episode. Anyway, what were we talking about before?
I literally can't remember.
Okay, here's the question. if
This is what
someone
you're
from
here
Critical
for.
Role
Thank you.
were, I'll just back it. If someone from Critical Role was to be on Damsels, who do you think they would play?
I don't know. We've had some people from like behind the camera on. Danny was a wonderful Alice. Serena was fabulous Judy Hopps. I mean, I don't know. I mean, any would be great, and it's always the same question of who's your dream.
Oh my god, Travis would be a baller guest star.
He would be very good. Yeah, he'd be very good.
He'd be the best.
But like, I think they're talented humans. They can do anything.
Oh yeah, I believe so.
It would be like a pleasure to. It would be a pleasure to have them at my table.
Man, it's Flynn Rider would be fun. That would be cool. Honestly, I was trying Matt as Rapunzel. Yes,
Marisha as Flynn. Yeah,
I'm sure Marisha's got a great smolder.
Ooh, yeah.
I know that there are musical breaks in your show. I would love an all musical TTRPG, but I know it's like impossible to make happen. But that would be so sick.
I feel like other people have done that. It just is. I'm not as good. I'm like a musical improv person.
It takes
like yeah, that's like an extra like leveled up skill that I am always in awe of. Kelly Lynn D'Angelo. I met her while she was still doing a lot of musical improv, like in person in LA. And so she's always somebody that I follow with that musical improv stuff, and I'm just like, I'm
in awe. I'm in awe every single time Noir does an improvised song on his streams.
Bah.
Yeah, the sirens too. Like Christina Ariel can just pull something out. It's wild. I don't understand where those skills come from, and I'm impressed by them every time.
Like Christina as Bob in Pirates of the Leviathan.
Yeah, I respect it so much. That's not in my skill set.
I would kill for, like that would just like a Gallivant show, a Gallivant TTRPG.
They did one. They did Hyper did one for Hyperdrive with Chris Bermonti,
Really?
I think, running the game. Yeah. I don't know if the VOD must exist somewhere, but they did a Gallivant.
And they sang?
One shot. Yeah, because Chris Bermonti was part of what's the musical improv group that was in Geek and Sundry all the time?
Butts.
Nita, you're my Geek and Sundry expert. I came into the TTRPG space too late for that.
I'm blanking on it.
I've forgotten, which is hilarious because I'm like, we were always a gather party together. But yeah, Chris was part of a musical improv troupe and a nerdy musical improv troupe. So yeah, it was then a musical time as I recall, but I don't remember exactly.
The VLD is in Hyper's Hyperdrive collection.
There it is.
Madam
D-Man knows up.
Madam Gandalf would be good in a musical TTRPG. Alex has an amazing voice.
Yeah, I mean, the Sirens of the Realm and the Siren Show, run by Satine, like they do it's not 100% musical, but it is,
it's
an all bard
party,
like rock band on a tour, like it was like on tour, like that was how it was in like incepted, and it's it's evolved a little bit, but it's still pretty heavily musical.
That bass is still there.
I need to check out the Sirens, especially because they just had a successful Kickstarter.
They did,
and there's some stretch goals in that bad boy that are just like I think Omega, Critical Bard, is going to be joining them. I don't know if he's joining in the capacity of doing anything musically, but I'm just very curious to check that out. Satine is another just amazing force in this space, who I don't know how they do everything that they do, because it's like, when do you sleep?
Yeah, between like Gilded Light
none of us sleep.
Yeah. Lord knows I don't.
Yeah, she doesn't. Well,
All right.
I'm sure she sleeps now.
So here is another question for you, Kailey.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have an angel investor, just billions to do whatever you want with, but it has to be a brand new project. What do you think you would come up with in those circumstances? What is your dream project?
I would want to do something where we could cut between at the table interactive RP and then on set full costume stunts, special effects, like going back and forth between like around the table live play and then like live interactive like enactments of like battles and such that are happening, but like cinematically.
Yes.
I would want like cinematic inserts into live plays that we could like do in real time.
Please.
I like that. I like that. That's another question that I've been wanting to ask really creative people that I respect, because it's just like we live in a capitalist society, so the limits put on us are dollars. But if dollars didn't matter, I'm just wondering how much cool shit could exist.
If dollars didn't matter, I could do that in a heartbeat. Like I've got the team, I've got the skills, I've got the people who'd be interested in it. We need the time and the money. Cause like I know the people who could make the technology happen. Like we could choreograph the stunts, like we've got the costumers, we've got the talent. We could just do it. I just need the dollars.
And it's crazy. That's just another thing I respect. Like, you have a team. Like, but a lot of people say they have a team. It's generally like, I got 5 or 6 people that I love to play with, and I can count on them to, like, bring whatever skills they have, be it graphic design, social media, music, or whatever, to the screen. But like, you've got a fucking team. Like, I think you could probably make a movie if you had the dollars.
Something I learned about myself, especially in producing Travels with Hyper and producing D&D in a Jet also for Satine, is somehow in my life experience, I am the person with a guy for everything. You need something? I got a guy for that. Don't know how it happened, but I have become the person who's got a guy.
That's wild.
Very proud of it. I don't know how it happened. Very proud of it.
Like, because I know like one other person like that, and that's my friend Latia.
Yeah.
And it's wild because it's just like just the conversations that I know that he's had behind the scenes, and it's just like, how do you know everyone? Like, how do you? And it's just a matter of doing the grind, being open, and just it's crazy. I love it. And now all I'm thinking about is like being in a theater and seeing somebody play a D&D game or a TTRPG, and then like a screen comes down and we got the cinematic of the fight that was just about to happen on the fucking TTRPG table, and
It's so cool. I want it so bad.
Oh, that is so flirbin' cool. We're just about at time here, I believe. So I've got maybe 1 or 2 questions to wrap it up. But before I ask my questions, were there any questions you had, Alina?
Yeah, actually, I do have a question. So we were talking a lot about like the things that you were happy that were successful and hit. Is there any project that you really thought was going to be a thing, but just didn't pan out the way you expected?
There's a lot of stuff that I have worked on that either like we've had to put on the back burner just for time and resources. But the things that I make, I've been so lucky, especially just like from my time in LA, I've been so lucky to just work with people who know how to manage expectations and know why we're making the project. I wish that we'd been able to get some more traction with Travels with Hyper, just because it was such a, like, no one has ever done
such a
what we have done, and I'm so proud of it. So like that one was one of the ones I was like, wow, you know, like I would love some more eyeballs on that, because we, like, the technology that we implemented and just the things we were able to accomplish, it's pretty special. But like it still exists and we have it, and it was really, really good. It changed our lives.
I honestly, this is the first that I'm hearing of it, so I'm definitely gonna give it a check, give it a look, and see if I can get a few of my friends' eyes on it, because it sounds.
Maybe some YouTube
amazing.
cut downs too. It's like a little bit like more digestible. It's not just like all like the live stuff, but like, the live stuff, like we would be live for almost a full day, you know, going from like city to city to city, like from LA all the way across to Atlanta and then back around. And we did it in like 6 weeks, I think, and it was in their RV, and it was we did everything from rage rooms and magic in like a magician live in Vegas, to off-roading in Moab, to like talking about politics at an animal shelter, playing with puppies, to meeting the chief of Cherokee Nation, to learning how to be mermaids in Miami. It just and meeting with a prickly pear farmer in Arizona. It just
that sounds like a once in a lifetime experience.
It was wild. We got to do so many cool things. So I hope that eventually, like, we're able to really share what that was like, because it was special.
It sounds amazing. Like, that just sounds like so unique, and just so, like, definitely got to get some more love towards it.
Hell yeah. Did you have any other questions?
Nope, that's about it.
So here is my question, which is, if you could go back in time and give yourself advice, what advice would you give yourself?
Just do it yourself.
Is that something that you think you had a hard time with at some point?
I was waiting for permission. And I think that there's something about like being in like acting conservatories and stuff like that, and institutions like that kind of train you to ask for permission for a lot of things before you just do it. And the more, if I had stopped waiting for permission sooner, I think I would have been a lot happier sooner.
Okay.
Just do the thing.
Yeah, just don't wait for permission.
And yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
It's what is the line or the thing that we said in Kingsguard? I told Dee's character that I see you're the type that asks for forgiveness rather than permission, and she said, "I generally don't do either."
True.
Yeah.
My last question was, this is one that I tend to ask, which is, where would you like to see Damsels and Pixels and Hyperdrive in the next 10 years? Like, if you had your way, what would that look like?
I mean, for Pixel Circus especially, and Damsels in the next 10 years, I would love to have the first season shot and released. I'd love for us to be doing convention appearances and live shows. I think that would be great. And I'd love for Failsafe to have, convention appearances, live shows. I would love for Pixel Circus to be a space, a variety space, for an inclusive space for nerds of all kind to like come together and do the projects that they've been dreaming of doing, and uplifting each other's voices. And I know that's where Zach and Malika, they want Hyper to be that because like as a member of the team of Hyper, I'm following the very, very smart creative leaders there. And gosh, the things that they're going to be inventing how live entertainment works. And I am so excited to see see them just like push the boundaries of what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I am a huge fanboy of like a lot of the stuff that you're involved in. So keep kicking ass, because like it's giving me content to watch.
I'm happy to be doing it. It's fun.
And you can tell that you're having fun for sure in everything that you do.
So that well, before we wrap, was there anything else you wanted to say to the people? Anything want to get off your chest? If you want to, shout out anybody or like have a rap beef, I don't know.
God, I have no rhythm. Can you imagine me and try to? Oh God, I have no rhythm. It's a problem.
We're gonna start rap beefs with our guests now. That's the new thing I'm adding.
I lose. I lose.
Go catch a Bria and Kailey on the mic, spin bars at each other.
Yeah, I forfeit immediately.
Did
you see Abria do the Swords Fall game?
The Battle of Kings. I did not, but I need to.
Absolutely not. Do I go up against Abria? No, thank you.
Abria the Chaos Lord.
I know. Something that I am very lucky to have is a very realistic knowledge of what my skills are. Rhythm, not one of them. It's okay. I've resigned myself to it. I've resigned myself to it.
Don't feel bad. I don't have it either.
You're a musician, yes, you do.
It's real easy to strum. Just follow the drummer.
Guess what? Unless you can't follow the drummer.
See, I can do it with a guitar in my hand. If you ask me to dance or to rap, you got the wrong guy. I can do the robot, and that's about it. That being said, this has been another episode of Morning Ritual, and I have been one of your horses. Whew. Okay.
It's early. You were up early.
I have been one of I'm telling you, I'm never waking up at 6 again. It's just I'm discombobulated, y'all. I have been one of your hosts, Noir. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok as the Noir Enigma. I am a stretch goal for the Necrobiotic Kickstarter, which is still going. I think we got a few more days, so get on that.
They just passed 670, I think, backers so far.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I thought you were talking about dollars. I'm like,
no.
You scared the shit out of me. I am the GM of the Roll20 sponsored show, Kingsguard, which you can find on this channel every Monday. I do a bunch of other stuff. Just look at my Twitter pin post and then like toss me some support, maybe. I don't know, or hire me for stuff. I'm open. I'm always looking for shows and stuff, so show me some love. Other than that, though, that's me in a nutshell. Next, we have the better host. We got me? The one right up there. Yes.
Hi, I'm Anita, or Panita, or Critical Misses. You can find me everywhere online at Panita or at Critical Misses, because this is my channel. So you can find me here on Mondays for Kingsguard, or Roll20 Spotlight Show. You can find me here Wednesdays. This Wednesday is going to be our last episode, the finale of Under a Pale Cold Sun, which is our Vampire the Masquerade 5 5th edition chronicle. It is coming to a close. After that, I will be running a game. I am actually going to be DMing and producing a game here. It's all based on folklore and urban legends from the area that I grew up in, combined with a little bit of supernatural teenage horror.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can find me here for that. Fridays, we play games occasionally on System Crash, which is we play a TTRPG with no prep and no clue how to do it. And then again, you can find me back here for Morning Ritual. Our guest next week is Josh Simons.
Oh, fun.
Woo! I'm so glad you remembered that, because I forgot. One last thing I forgot. Also, I am in a new actual play with Grant Ellis. we're doing Monster Hearts, and I'm playing a broody werewolf boy.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna bring on Maximum Brood, and of course, I am on Woven Realm with Chromatic Chimera. Please don't forget that we are doing our Pride donations all month. So any subscriptions, bits that you give us goes straight to supporting the give it to me one more time because I'm bad with
To the Trans Law Center, to the Transgender Law Center.
They see this is why I do live stuff so I don't have to remember a script. And finally, a big thank you to our lovely guest today. Kailey, go ahead and tell the people where we can find you.
Oh gosh, I'm on the internet pretty much everywhere. You can find me on Twitter at Hoppa Barbarian. That's kind of my social media hub. I am the executive producer of Tabletop at Pixel Circus. Every Friday, we have Failsave run by Vince Casso, our D&D comedy live play. And then Damsel's currently on hiatus, but we'll be back soonish on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Pacific. I am the stretch goal for the Tavern Tales Kickstarter with a new NPC one-shot. So that should be coming out. Just follow me on social media for that. Starting, I think, next week, there's going to be a cool announcement that I get to hype up. Every Wednesday evening, I am live on the official Walking Dead Universe Twitch as their community manager. We do watch-alongs of the episodes, and I am very brave the whole time and not at all highly strung or jumpy. What else is going on? Oh, my podcast episode with Willing and Fable, the Myths and Legends podcast run by the fantastic Rowan Hall and Tracy Harrison. About Bluebeard, where I wrote an original retelling of the tale and talked about like the history and the background of the fairy tale. That's currently live on Willing and Fable. I'm really proud of that. I had a lot of stuff, and there's a bunch of stuff I haven't been allowed to talk about yet. So just follow me on Twitter.
That NDA
I'm
life.
gonna be watching your Twitter like this, just waiting to find out because you are amazing at keeping everything sealed up. We don't know what you're up to, so I'm just gonna be watching.
The best part. Well, here's the thing: is I forget. Because we were talking and I literally just remembered something that I'd done and I don't know when it's going to be released. So I just like, it's gone. Yeah. The blessings of ADHD.
Hey.
I can't talk.
No, seriously, talking with Kailey sometimes it's just like, so what about that? Oh yeah, I'm doing that. Well, wait, no, I can't talk to you any longer.
Oh my god. Oh, that's not released yet.
It's the Hagrid. Should have said that. Should not have said that.
But that's been this episode, y'all. We're going to go ahead and raid our stream team partners, Roll Together, who's currently doing their talk show, Talk Together with Ed Cartwright. So we're going to show them some love. Everybody, please.
That's a big announcement that we have to make official, too. We're now on our stream team. We're Throwing Together.
I thought we did that at the beginning. We didn't?
We did not. No.
Oh, wow. I'm not good at this. We're part of a stream team.
Yeah, we're part of a stream team with a bunch of other amazing channels. The announcement just went live a couple weeks ago, so if you might have heard something about it before that, you didn't hear it from us.
Yeah, so please shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. Don't snitch on us. We're not good at this.
Yeah. Right. Apparently we can't raid Roll Together.
What?
They might have raids turned off for some reason.
Well, I guess if we just end the show since we're on the same stream team, it'll just go to them then.
Well, give me 1 second. Let me just go to my stream manager and see what.
So while we're figuring this out, I do want to again thank everybody for coming here and checking us out, and please give Damsels a look, and please give Hyper on the Road, I believe was the name of it.
Travels with Hyper.
Travels with Hyper. Please give Travels with Hyper a look. I'm actually trying to see if I can get the links for that so I can send y'all off to watch that stuff because it needs more eyeballs, y'all.
Roll Together so RPG. That's why, because I didn't have the right channel name.
Wow,
we're professionals.
We're professionals.
Yeah.
All right, so check those shows out, and we're out of here.
Until next time, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.